So OKC ties this up at 2 apiece. And for a stretch there, it looked like it was potentially going to slip away from them as, the Mavs, once again, with having Gafford or Lively play off of, Wiggins or Dort, or play super hard off of big Jalen Williams or Giddey when he's out there and just packing the paint like crazy. It looked like OKC was just going to get overwhelmed and not find a way to score, but they persevered. They played some great defense themselves. Chet was great all around. And I think SGA was able to dominate through normal SGA things, but I felt like he was finally really able to get whatever switch he wanted, whether it was Josh Green or Kyrie or PJ Washington or whoever. He was able to cook from the top of the key. He was able to operate on the empty side, going a hard away for that one behind the back one that was crazy, behind the backboard. And also, OKC finally made some of the open threes that SGA was generating, specifically one from Lou Dort, one from Chet in the corner as well. Now they shot 26% from three overall. Again, this was a grind. They got themselves a win, and also that shot behind the backboard over Hardaway was nutty. Okay. OKC's process in this game to figure it out on offense, because once again, it was the same thing as the previous game. Bigs helping off of wings by Dallas, the whole thing. I just said all this. Also, PJ on Chet, making it switchable, that whole thing. Well, the first thing that Dallas did to open up the second half, they put Isaiah Joe in the game, and that immediately shifted the matchups for Dallas, where they put Gafford back on Chet, because they were basically like, yeah, Isaiah Joe is probably the one guy we don't want our bigs helping off of because of how much of a threat he is from outside. Now, Isaiah Joe didn't even go nuts from three in this game, but still, we know what he can be as a shooter. And so, immediately what you see is SGA going at Gafford on a screen. He makes one of his million pull-up twos, fading twos, if you will, in this game over him. And funny enough, as I say that, I do think Case and Wallace may have been the real X-factor difference maker in this game, where in the fourth quarter especially, he had two great defensive plays on Kyrie, guarding him in a one-on-one. One time Kyrie went to the runner. It was the right hand. It was the opposite hand of what he did in the previous game, that one crazy shot. And then another time in a one-on-one where Kyrie ends up taking a fading two, where Kaysen, he's being physical, he's not fouling, he's doing everything he's supposed to do. And then on offense, he's making a transition three after I think it was Lou Dort just holding up really well on Luka. It could have been J-Dub, I don't remember the exact play. OKC also had a couple of possessions there. I believe Kaysen was involved in these ones as well. I think Giddey might have been as well too, where they doubled Kyrie, and there were a couple of plays. Kyrie got by the double once and he was able to get a layup, but there were a couple of the times where the double comes and it's PJ Washington wide open in the corner, and yeah, he went crazy from three again, but this was one of the few plays where they didn't find him on the skip pass, and then, I don't know, it became a turnover or something, but basically they stopped the play. I also just want to have a little thing here just about Chet specifically. You talk about just good across the board. He makes two of those free throws late that they needed. SGA ended up making the final two, but Chet had the ones with 10 seconds left. He's blocking Kyrie or PJ Washington at the rim. He's making, trailing three where Derek Lively is what feels like a centimeter away from blocking it. Hell, in that fourth quarter, he had a great play where I think his presence made Kyrie a little quicker to shoot the floater, which did not go in, and Kaysen did an okay job before the play. But then Chet managed to turn around and block Lively, who was going for the putback. To do all that in just 1 second, it's really good stuff. I also just looked at his one steal for the game and on NBA.com, and he was able to, with one arm, kind of get Luka to second guess taking the shot. And then with his other arm, he actually stole the pass that was meant to go to Lively. Chet's really good, man. But then you had SGA, where, it was step back two over Kyrie, blow by PJ on a switch, getting a switch on Josh Green and kind of backing him down before the play begins to get better position, and then from there he's just rising up for basically a long two that goes in, getting the Kyrie switch and then driving, and the pass that he made to Lou Dort in the corner for one of Dort's threes in this game. Lively was on Dort on that play. The game plan was play off of Dort, contest at the rim like they did so much throughout a lot of this game, and that was my big thing with the previous game and just how it messed up a lot of OKC's offense. Well, he made the three, which was a clear game plan thing by Dallas. Dort took 10 threes in this game. And then you had the Chet corner three created by SGA going at, it might have been Kyrie again. I have to look at the exact play again, but yeah, Luka had no chance to get the closeout on Chet. So that was the biggest thing. It was OKC making enough of those corner threes that Dallas was giving them, with the bigs playing off of, guys in the wing. I keep on saying this. And then Shai just finding the spot on the floor where he can be Shai. And then on the other end, look, man, Kyrie, once again, made a lot of great passes in this one. Like I said, they threw some doubles at him, the whole thing. He had one great straight-up contest on, I think it was Lou Dort driving, I don't remember exactly. But this is the fine line with this stuff. When you win the game, it's, hey, Kyrie didn't score a whole lot, but the overall game was good. And, the things he did besides scoring, yeah, you can still praise them, but also, they really needed one of Luka or Kyrie to just have, a 4-minute stretch where they just couldn't miss on difficult jump shots, which we know they can do. But that did not happen. They were 10 for 31 combined. And, Luka, the last shot I remember from Luka was a pull-up three on the left wing where There's not a whole lot to it. He basically just gets a screen from Lively. Chet is just in a regular drop. Lou Dort's fighting around. He's like, I'm just going to take this, and it's what I said earlier in the series. You know, when those tough threes are going in, it's great, and when they're not going in, it's like, you get it. Also, yeah, Luka missed the free throw late there. That would have been big. I don't want to forget about J-Dub and that crazy baseline drive he had past Lively where, like, he didn't have the ball, but then he did have the ball. Speaking of the name Jalen Williams, but not J-Dub, we're going to go to big Jalen Williams for a second here. It felt like, I'd have to fact check this, it felt like we did get a couple more minutes of the big Jalen Williams with Chet lineup, and I mean, the numbers on that lineup were really good throughout the year. It's understandable why Dagnall doesn't want to go to it, because it goes against what they want to be with super spacing and, you know, the whole thing, but I mean, 3 offensive rebounds in 10 minutes for Jalen Williams, and one of them being like, I think he got 2 on that one possession, which then ended up becoming like something that got overturned, if I'm remembering this correctly, and I don't even know if it resulted in a basket. It could have, and I'm just dead forgetting, but it's more so just giving you a couple extra possessions as opposed to Dallas getting something in transition. I mean, like, the margins are that small when you're talking about these games, man. So yeah, I mean, that was a rock fight. It was a grind, the whole thing, and I do think that this is the type of game that I think the largest pessimists of OKC would think they would lose. And hey, look, I picked Dallas in 6, so I'm not going to act like I'm over here being like, OKC's definitely going to win the series. But the whole, like, experience thing and all that, I mean, they just won a game on the road where it looked like they were at one point going to really lose the game big, and now we got a 2-2 series. I mean, if that's not the type of win that an experienced team gets, then I don't know what is. Now, as I say all that, Dallas can say, yeah, well, we missed a million free throws. OKC can say, well, we're going to shoot better from 3 in this game, and we still managed to at least get a couple by the end. Also, that one Hardaway pass when he tried to get it to Luka in the post, and it was a turnover, and it didn't even reach Luka. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it got tipped, and we just didn't see it on camera, but that was wild.